Hey y'all. So guess what? It's when 7:30 or a little bit past 7:30 on a Wednesday night and you and I are here at the Sugar Show. So it looks like we're going to have a party. Okay? Yep, every Wednesday night at 7:30, same time, might not be the same place, but Sugar's face is going to always be in the place. Hey you guys. Thanks for chiming in tonight for the Sugar Show. And for those who are new, let me introduce myself. I am Natalie Sugar Brown, aka Miss Too Bad. I am, Mike chimes in already. Hey, Mike. I am a female pugilist or a woman pugilist, woman boxer. I have been in the game for 20 plus years, so I am an old crone in the game. And this is my platform. The Sugar Show is my platform in giving you guys a window into the authentic experience of a female fighter in women's boxing. Not just boxing, but women's boxing. And this is necessary. Why it's necessary? Because a lot of people think boxing is boxing or fighting is fighting. One industry is like the next, and it's not. Um, I'm here to talk about the life of a woman gladiator, a female pugilist, woman boxer, and the industry of women's boxing because I'm hoping that this will give everyone some insight on the real happenings of our industry, and it'll uh, uplift us as well as get some of these behaviors that are unethical back on fair ground, right? Telling you guys the names of the real legends and the women who have really made marks in our industry for now what you see these young ladies who are able to make some good money and become a brand in the women's boxing industry. So tonight's topic is uh, the mega mystery. Okay, so we have a women's mega fight coming up in Clarissa Shields versus Savannah Marshall. But before I get into that, okay, I have to address one of my long-standing participants, one of my misfits, one of my viewers who had left a comment under my previous episode where I highlighted women, uh, what journey women are in women's boxing, because journey women in women's boxing are not the same as journey men in men's boxing. So I'm going to address One Nation Boxing. I hope you show up tonight. I really do. But I'm going to address your comment that you left under my previous video. So, in my previous video, I gave some shine to some great journey women or names that are synonymous with the idea of journey women in the sport, in women's boxing, in the industry and the business of women's boxing. Now, I am not putting a negative connotation on the term journey woman or gatekeeper. Those women are just as important, if not more important, than the champions that you know. As I've said previously, if it weren't for those women, your champions wouldn't have shoulders to stand on to be who they are, to be these so-called legends and greats and all of the terms that are now thrown around to describe a pretty decent broad in the ring. Okay, because at this point, I would say there are still very who have um, few women who have become legends as just fighters. Most of our legends are the women who have busted down the barriers that have stopped us from being who we are. Women who can legitimately make a living as pugilists in the world, in the industry, and in an industry where it was only uh, legal for men to do so. Okay, so the comment that One Nation Boxing left on under my previous uh, episode was, and I'm just gonna just repeat and in snippets, but I think I've gotten your point in what you were in those comments that you left. So I'm addressing your points. Okay, so uh, One Nation Boxing says unfair to call Jane Couch a journey woman. She beat Jamie Clampett, who beat Mia St. John um, for the IWBF 140-pound title. Um, the IWBF is now what you know as the IBF title. And also, she went 10 rounds with Holly Holm. Um, One Nation Boxing also mentioned she was forced to go without sleep on a staircase the night before a world championship fight because Americans refused to pay her to afford accommodation. Also saying there were real reasons why she lost to some fighters, and it wasn't because she was second best. Um, okay, so that was your first point, and I don't like to repeat myself, but I'm going to remind you of what I said in the previous episode with regards to Jane Couch being a journey woman and what a journey woman is in women's boxing. You answered your own question, sweetheart, or you actually hey, Cedric Sports Training comes in. Good evening, champ. Hey, Seti, thanks for chiming in. Long time no see. Thanks for stopping by. And listen. I want you to I want you to chime in tonight, right? Because you a general in this game that I definitely respect. Um, so I'm addressing One Nation Boxing's comments uh, where they seem to disagree with uh, why I had named Jane Couch as a legend, but not so, but also gave her as an example of a journey woman in the sport of women's boxing or in the history of women's boxing. I take nothing from Jane Couch. Jane Couch had achieved a goal. She became champion. But in that road to becoming champion, okay, let me explain to you the context of Jane's journey, and I'll also give some resources to elaborate on uh, my dear mentor, because she's a mentor to me, her journey. Okay, so the context of me calling Jane Couch a journey woman, uh, once again, is not negative, but you did answer your own question, One Nation Boxing, where you said she was forced to go without sleep on a staircase the night before a championship fight. Sweetheart, That's how they treat journey women, right? They didn't fly her over there, or they didn't put her in a place where they respected her as a contender or a champion, nonetheless. They had this woman sleep on a staircase the night before she's to fight for a championship. Okay? That's number one. Right? That's journey woman swag. Okay? Um, they said because the Americans refused to pay to afford her accommodation. Yep. They ain't gonna pay you. They ain't gonna treat you like no champion. They ain't gonna treat you like you're anybody, because they flew you over to be a journeywoman, to lose for somebody. Okay? Um, One Nation Boxing. So I'm not saying that she was. If you look, because I don't like to repeat myself, and I'm not going to put clips of my old show on this show. I said what I said, and I think you said that you weren't going to accept that statement from me, but I said what I said, right? I said she was a great contender, but they flew her over here and turned her into a journey woman. Okay, I will continue with my points. Cedric Sports coming in saying, sleeping in the stairwell? Wow, that's disrespectful. Tell me about it. Okay, but we gonna go a little bit more into into how they disrespected Jane Couch and treated her like a journey woman. That's why I called her the legend, a journey woman, because everybody can't be champion. Everybody can't be cute. Everybody can't be great. Right? Get out your feelings about that. Right? There are great heroes and great villains too, and great journey women. Right? And if we don't own these things, and if we don't set a standard, right, for that kind of greatness, we're not going to get our respect. Jane Couch now slept in the damn stairwell, flew over to fight. Journeywoman swag, okay? She's a dog. She didn't run from that. She did it, okay? There were real reasons why she lost to some fighters, and wasn't because she was second best. That's what I said. That's why I said what I said. One Nation Boxing. A lot of journey women are not journey women, right? Some are, where they have the 4-40 record, but some of those records, some of those ugly records were made to be ugly because they had some messed up decisions where they actually did win, but because they were fighting in someone's backyard, they weren't on neutral ground, they got the L. Journeywoman swag, okay? Ain't nobody fighting for, I've been a journey woman. I've been a gatekeeper. Okay? Ain't nothing wrong with it. The story for us in women's boxing, or fighters or contenders like us, is check my record. Okay? Then you see the fabric of a fighter. Has she left her porch to fight somewhere else? Right? Has she shown her depth, where she'll fight in different weight classes, where she'll go up and she'll go down? Has she shown that she's a real baddie in doing that? Right? That's the measure. Right? That's the measure of who's bad out here. It's not a record. Because in women's boxing, that's why we have in this show, I'm teaching you guys how the game is manipulated, especially in women's boxing, because nobody checks receipts. Okay? So the second point, some fighters in the where I said Some fighters in the UK don't know Jane Couch. And One Nation Boxing, I guess you was getting cute with me, so I'm gonna get cute back. You said that's like saying everyone's heard, everybody. You said everybody knows about Jane Couch, and me saying that is like saying no one's heard of Milk. Well, let me tell you something about Milk, okay? Milk don't get ridiculed. Milk don't get put on like it's a sideshow. Milk don't get disrespected. Milk don't get denied. So don't compare Jane Couch to Milk. Okay? When I said what I said, when I said it, I said a lot of the up to date, a lot of the present UK fighters don't know Jane Couch. I didn't say they don't know her name. I said they don't know the woman. They don't know what she went through for them to be who they are. They don't know. They don't have the respect for that woman that they should. She's still in the background, and she's not even in the background on a platform. She's still screaming her story, right? That's what I meant when I said what I said, right? So sometimes I guess I speak metaphorically, or I speak, in artistic terms, but that's what I meant, right? And I'll repeat that. A lot of the UK fighters don't understand the value of Jane Couch and who she is. Otherwise, she'd be on everybody's team, right? Because she's played the game, and she's played the game at its worst, and then she still came out better than somebody who, with her start, would have, right? She started off with nothing. She started off where it was illegal for her to even do what she did, and she turned a whole system upside down on its head, right? She got women who believed in her, two female lawyers who believed in her, that took her case to court, right? She took on a whole country and won, okay? A lot of female fighters in the UK don't really understand what that means, because guess what? Because she did that, she was blackballed. She was taken out the story. She was disqualified from the game. It was hard for her to make it, even harder for her to make a living after that, right? Because she went and exposed the good old boys. That's what I meant. That's what I mean. Okay, and she's talked about this in recent articles where she said it. Women's boxing in the UK still has a long way to go. A long way to go. So it's not just good where these women are getting spots on a promotional card. Jane Couch has been an advocate of the actual business of women's boxing and what that means to a fighter to be able to maintain their self as an entity that is protected, right? She made it legal. She made it now where people are held accountable for treating women uh, like they should be treated, as as business women in the industry of women's boxing. Okay, so there go your milk, baby. Um, that that's what I meant with regards to that. She has actually had PTSD from all the crap that she went through in paving the way for a lot of UK women's boxers. And I mean, for me, I'm going to say this. If they knew what she went through, they'd shout her out a couple times. And I hear crickets. I haven't heard none of them bring up uh, Jane Couch as a legend, as anybody who is influential in them being who they are right now. That's what I meant, right? Um, your other point, One Nation Boxing, saying she was never a journey fighter or a gatekeeper. Keeper, you're just wrong. Well, that's just your opinion, boo boo, because I kind of told you the points that added up to that. But since you want me to dig a little deeper into Jane Couch's, since you want me to outline what that meant with this gatekeeper and journeywoman in women's boxing, how she got categorized as that for me on this platform, and like I said, this is nothing derogatory, right? This is just, it is what it is. I put her on my previous episode as a legend and as somebody that is definitely, if if anything, a great journeywoman and a great gatekeeper. Okay, so we're gonna go through Jane Couch's resume or history. Okay, so Jane Couch is 28 wins, 11 losses, and no draws. Okay, and I'm just going to mention some of her notable, some of the notable points on her resume. Okay, um, she defeated Andrea Deschamps, um, who had a padded record of fighters. So she wasn't able to fight in the UK. Andrea Deschamps was a US fighter. Okay, so she came over and beat Andrea Deschamps. Okay, she also beat a baddie in Marissa Shaw. Okay, look these women up. Baddies, baddies, baddies. But in between Jane Couch fighting these baddies, okay, Jane was fighting a lot of 4 and 40 fighters, right? So Jane was fighting lesser caliber journey women, right? In between these matches, Jane wasn't fighting other contenders that were on her level, right? When she lost against these names, she went back into Paddington or Paddingment, right? So she could get her number back up, which is what pretty much, it's not Rankin. It's not Hannah Rankin. Who is it? Femke? One of these girls are doing that right now as we speak in the middleweight division, right? She just fought for a title after she been, I mean, but I mean, let's get back to Jane, okay? So Jane was fighting fighters that had less than 10 fights and beating them, okay? Then she came over and she fought Elizabeth Mueller. And Elizabeth Mueller was she came up in my time as in when I was an amateur. She was kind of ahead of my class, but Elizabeth Mueller was a baddie in amateurs. Okay, she was a tough little broad. She lost to Elizabeth Mueller. Okay, she got TKO in the fourth round. Okay, but then she went back after that loss and she fought. I mean, this right now is the superstar journey woman. Okay, she ain't a legend, she's a superstar journey woman. Okay, she fought Borislava Goranova 3 times. So she fought Borislava back to back to back to get her numbers back up. Okay, and then she fought a debut fighter before facing Lucia Riker, okay, where she got TKO'd by Lucia Riker, okay. She fought Brenda Bell Drexel, who is a U.S. journeywoman, okay. You can look her up. Um, Michael Orr chimes in, Lucia Riker was 15-0. Okay, so I mean, if you look at the records, right, and if you look at who the promoters were, Jane wasn't flown in as a contender to fight Lucia Riker. She was flown in as either a gatekeeper or a journeywoman to validate Lucia Riker, right? Because Lucia Riker was the one with the O, and the one with the O is the star of the show. Okay, that's how these promoters work it. Okay, right. Michael's coming in with the numbers. That's why I said. Then she fought Brenda Burl Drexel, who was 5 wins, 19 losses, and 2 draws. A 4-40 fighter. Okay, so she didn't go back and fight another contender or a contender of her caliber, so she can get her quality. She went down in the bin and fought a lesser journeywoman to get her number back up. Okay. Then she lost to Natalie Toro of Germany. Okay. And everybody knew back in those times that you weren't going to go to Germany and beat nobody. You weren't going to go to Germany back in the times when she went up there and win no match. So she knew what she was going there to do. All right. Don't make me talk like this is what it is. Okay. One Nation. Um, then she beat Jamie Clampett, which was 13-2-0, because they flew like you said, she wasn't second best, but she was being used on the circuit as a body and as a journeywoman. Jane Couch could fight, and she was tough as nails, right? She wasn't strong physically, but boy, she was tough, and she knew her stuff in the ring. Okay, now she beat Jamie Clampett, who was 13-2-0 at the time, because they thought, okay, Jane Couch is a ringer, she can't fight, but she turned it up on Jamie's ass and exposed her. Okay, and then you came and you said Jamie Clampett is fighting till this day. Okay, I can get my license reinstated and fight tomorrow. That Jamie Clampett got her own little neck of the woods over there. She has a promoter that um he'll start her fighting anytime she wants. I forgot his name, right? I spoke with him too as a fighter. Goodness, I forgot his name. She beat Clampett by unanimous decision, right? Like I said, uh, Jane Couch wasn't strong. She didn't have no power, but she could fight, and she was gonna fight. She was one of those people that she was gonna be on your ass because she could take a shot. She was tough. She could take and give, but her giving wasn't as heavy, right? Omar John. Oh, Omar comes in, all watching and enjoying this content. Oh, all watching and enjoying this content. Leave a like so Sugar can keep this going. Thank you, Omar. Thank you. We talking about Jane Couch. Okay, so beat Jamie Clampett, then turned around and lost to Jessica Rakosi. Okay, and if you're not understanding this, like, she's fighting people in different weight classes too, right? So she's coming in at the opportunity. She's taking the opportunities as they come. At no point is she dictating any of these opportunities. Okay. And these are the name fighters. The rest of them is Paddington, right? They're either 4-40 fighters or debut fighters. We're talking about Jane's resume. Okay. Um, then she went up and fought Miriam Lamar and lost by TKO. Now, me and Miriam came up around the same time. Miriam, I fought at 147 in the amateurs. Miriam Lamar fought at 139. We met at the second women's world championships. Um, no, we met at the women's world championships. We met up like this at the second women's world championships, and everybody thought for sure that we were going to fight each other in the pros because we there was a little bit of tension back in those times. You know what I'm saying? There was some talk in the cafeteria. There was some swaggington and swagment, right? She thought she was tough, and you know, people was like, too bad is the answer for that problem. But we never fought. She had a great Miriam Lamar had a great stint as a pro, and I think she's a mommy now. Yeah, she's out of the game and she's a mommy now. Anne Sophie Mathis, she fought Mathis, and whoo, Mathis pulverized her in the fight, but she that was a super mega fight. Miriam Lamar versus Anne Sophie Mathis. You guys check that one out. Michael Orr says she fought Clampett at 140, and then she fought with Jessica Rakowski at 133. Okay, so you see like her going up and down. That's journeywoman swag, One Nation Boxing, because when you're not a journeywoman, you stick to your weight. You have the power to stay in your weight. When you're a journeywoman, you got to go up, you got to go down. When you're a gatekeeper, you go up, down, you extend yourself for the opportunity to extend yourself versus the champ, right? You're trying to find your way. Okay, so I take nothing from that. Jane Couch is a champion, but she's she's a contender who they turned into a journeywoman who became a champion. Okay, and that is definitely to be respected, especially with her story. Okay, she fought 4 and 40 fighters, and then she fought Holly Holm, and okay, she went 10 rounds with Holly Holm. Yeah, she Holly Holm wasn't knocking nobody out, especially she wasn't going to knock nobody like Jane Couch out, but um Jane Couch was the gatekeeper or was the stepping stone for everybody to see Fresno and them. Holly's promoter used Jane Couch to validate Holly Holm. Okay? Journeywoman, gatekeeper, right? And there's nothing wrong with that. I must reiterate, One Nation Boxing. Okay, because it seemed like I hurt your feelings. This is not about me hurting your feelings. Um, okay, she fought Jamie Clampett again, and then she stepped up and fought Anne Sophie Matthews. Okay, so Jane Couch is a dog out here, right? She's a bad broad. And that turned into a badass crone who became champion. But let's go down the name. Let's go down the brand, the names on her actual record, the actual names, aside from the 4 and 40 fighters that she was fighting and the debut fighters. So she fought Leah Mellinger. She won. She fought Dora Weber. She fought Dora Weber twice and lost twice. She fought Mauricia Shaw and she won. She fought Sharon Anyos and won. All right, these are different weight classes too, okay? She fought Elizabeth Mueller and lost. She fought Sumaya Anani and lost. She fought Lucia Riker and lost. She fought Natalie Toro and lost. She fought Jamie Clampett and won. She fought Jessica Rakowski and won, and lost. Did she lose? Yeah, I think she lost. Y'all double check. She fought Miriam Lamar and lost. She fought Holly Holm and lost. She fought Jamie Clampett again, but she lost this time. And she fought Sophie Mathis and lost. So without the Paddington, her record is 10 losses and 5 wins. She lost to Rakowski. Okay, so 10 losses and 5 wins. But she became champion. That's the story of a journey woman. That's the story of a gatekeeper. Why? Because she maintained the standard of what these champions were supposed to be. If she couldn't hang, or if they couldn't hang with her, right, they wouldn't be able to make it up. And if she couldn't hang, she wouldn't have been able to get back in there and stand in there with all of those names, with all of those legends. So I'm not putting Jane Couch down when I call her a journey woman. Like I said, journey women are the most important. Man, Michael Orr comes in. I was going to say this too. She fought the superstar journey woman, Borislava Goranova, 4 times. 4 times. Okay, and that was to Paddington her record. Okay, but it takes nothing from the fact that she went in there with high caliber opposition. It was just that she did not dominate. She wasn't dominating them. She held the standard though. Okay, so that's what I mean in Journey Women. She was the one, Jane Couch, along with the other women that many other women, and those other women that I mentioned are worthy of the spotlight because they can fight, and they are the ones that establish the standard of skill set, of quality that these so-called champions at least need to be in order to get that belt. But now in this day and time, they're trying to even jump over contenders and journey women like Jane Couch for the real tomato cans, right? Because now matchmakers and fighters and managers, they really are, they doing the hocus pocus with the records now, and they'll find more 4 and 40 fighters or more tomato cans to pad records. So they'll pad up the tomato cans, and like I said in my previous episode, there are managers that all they have are tomato cans and journey women. They're not trying to recruit or have no contenders in their stable. Okay. Michael Orr saying she fought Drexel 2 times. Every time Couch fought and lost, her next 3 fights were against fighters who had losing records. And there you have it. That's the magic. Okay. But like I said, she stood in there with the greats. And she did something that many of these women that I named on her resume could never have the gonads to do. She took on a whole country and put her name on the line. And she put her life on the line, because it's not easy after you expose a whole system like that. They make things hard for you. They make life hard for you, right? And for her to continue and become a champion and continue in her livelihood is a great and honorable thing. Michael Orr chimes in, everything that's been said and commented on so far sounds like the life of a journey woman in boxing. I said what I said. Michael, Mike, I hope you're not being biased, because but Mike, you've called me on my shit too at times. That's why I kind of got a little crush on you. But Yeah, that that's just what it is, right? We got to call a thing what it is. Michael Orr saying, I'm spitting pure facts. You certainly spitting, okay? You really spitting you really spitting them bars tonight. Okay, so I'm hoping that I cleared that up. Um, One Nation Boxing, and with all due respect, um, I sure hope that we can see on some kind of level or some kind of we can see on some respectful terms of what this fighter is and what she means to women's boxing, because we both value her, but it just seems like we have different perspectives on what her story is. But I will end that part of that topic discussion saying this. Uh, Jane Couch deserves to be in the Boxing Hall of Fame. She has done for women's boxing uh, what she's done for women's boxing what the pioneers and trailblazers have done in women's boxing, especially for the women of the UK. And I respect her tremendously for that, because I was a young, uh, I was a greenback when Jane Couch was fighting, and I was cheering her on the whole time. She has always been one of my favorite fighters in women's boxing. Um, Now let's talk about this, the topic of the show, y'all. Let's talk about this mega mystery, this mega card. Okay, so it's coming, it's coming. Clarissa Shields versus Savannah Marshall. They go to there's the fight poster. Oh my gosh. They look sexy and scary at the same time, I think. Um so let me talk about this, okay? Um, I appreciate. I mean, this is a pretty decent attempt at selling women's boxing, but I gotta ask for. I gotta reach a little bit more. Okay, the star of the show is Clarissa Shields. Okay, that's why everybody is interested. That's why all them women on the poster get a chance to shine because of Clarissa Shields. Okay, she needs more real estate on the poster. She needs more real estate on the advertisements. Come on now. Okay, like I really see that y'all are playing uh Clarissa Shields really close. Clarissa Shields is not just a fighter fighting another fighter. She is, uh, if not the best female fighter right now, pound for pound, and she's proven it. Right? She's gone up. She's a undisputed champion, and she's the champion in several different weight classes. Okay, so you gotta. Michael Orr said the fight poster looks like a coupon for a discount grocery store. I mean, that's some shade, Michael, but I agree, right? Like they they gotta, and then they put Clarissa Shields. It's too busy. You're right. Michael Orr says it's too busy. It's too damn busy, right? I I'm gonna say it. Them people on the bottom, they don't take them off. Who are they? Who? I don't Olympics or what? Okay, that was over with. Okay, you had your shine from the Olympics. This pros. You don't like take them off the bottom of the poster. Okay? And Clarissa Shields needed to have most of the real estate on this poster. Michael Orr says it's like reading an eye chart when you're seeing the optometrist. Michael, stop it. You on fire tonight. Michael says you barely can read their names unless you got good eyesight. Tell me about it. And the thing is, I'm sorry to say, the only names that matter on the card is Clarissa Shields and Savannah Marshall. even Meyer and Bumgardner are not, they not shining like that, right? To be on this poster. They just not selling it. This is not, it's too much on, like Mike says, it's too busy. Then Saturday 10th of September, like the information that we do want to know is itty bitty, microscopic. What are you doing? And then you putting the girl, like these faces on the poster. Come on, sell. They're women. Sell them for being women. These girls look like these broads on the poster look like they done, like it's a what you call it, um you know, everybody knows this, like there used to be like this dark fetish for people, and I have to say that I was guilty of it, where you would read, there was a like newspaper or newsletter that came out that showed who, people who were wanted for certain small crimes in each state. And when the internet first started getting hot, because that's how old I am, they used to post this online. And sometimes if you were going through it, you'd see some people you knew, like, oh my gosh, like for one, I think Latondria Jones, who was a fighter, she was a fighter, supposedly signed by Mayweather. She was on there. Yeah, right. So it's like that was you. If you could see or find anybody you know or anybody behaving badly out there. Well, this kind of looks like how they used to market it, like the mug shot, like the lineup for uh, females who either shoplifted or got locked up at the bar for fight. I mean, there are so many beautiful images of all of these women out here. This poster does women's boxing, especially a mega fight. It doesn't know justice. It doesn't compel me, even a fighter, to want to buy a ticket to this. Okay. Um, Michael Orr says, then there's two names on each end of the bottom row that don't have pictures for the fighter. I noticed that too. Like, this is bootleg. This is how they're selling it. This is supposed to be a mega women's post. This is supposed to be a poster for a mega women's fight. So for my people who are listening in, on the podcast, I want y'all to look up the poster, but I'm describing the poster where, like, the women on the poster, Clarissa Shields, I mean, she got the jailhouse cornrows. Savannah Marshall, she got this slick back ponytail. The only person that looks semi, uh, that looks pretty presentable is Michaela Meyer. Um, and she's not the star of the show. I always say they always trying to insert her up under Clarissa's coattail. She needs to earn her own spot. But I'm gonna move on, right? So the lineup here, okay, so it's Shields versus Marshall, and Shields and Marshall are both, well, let's go backwards, right? Because I'm gonna lose some of y'all if we start from um, the juicy part down to the dry part, okay? I am saying dry, okay? We're going to talk about these ladies on the bottom of the poster, okay? Now on the bottom of the poster, starting from the middle, you have Caroline Dubois, which is she's 3-0, and I believe she's an Olympic gold medalist. So she got the Olympic gold medal in middleweight. So she's coming up. She's a up and coming pro, but she's 3-0. For her to be 3-0, I don't care if she's an Olympian or whatever, for her to be 3-0 on such a mega card, she needed some more buildup for this, right? There's too much. There's just too much going on, right? And for as a man, as a man, managerial decision, like someone who would make a managerial decision for Dubois, I really wouldn't have put her on this card, right? Because she's definitely being outshined. She is a Olympic gold medalist. She's got to have her own. She's got to have her own platforms. So then, when she gets to where she's calling out Shields or calling out Marshall, she's walked her own journey. She's been the star of many of her own shows, right? For her to be the undercard on this, I don't think it was a good move managerially. She will be overshadowed to me by the grandiosity of the fights of the two main, or the four main fights, right? Because people are looking for them. Dubois, Carolina Dubois, is fighting Melina Koliva, who is 10-14 and 1. So 10 wins, 14 losses, and 1 draw. Okay, so a journeywoman. Okay, and this is the time for Caroline to fight a journeywoman. She's in her 4th fight. Okay, and even though, even though Koleva is a journeywoman, she has won 10 fights. So Dubois still has to be, she has to train, she has to be on her toes, and she has to perform properly in order to impressively win against this fighter, Melina Koleva. Okay, so that's the one in the middle. Okay, then we're gonna go to goodness, I gotta look in. Okay, so then we're going to go to, goodness, what's her name? Where's Artin Stahl versus Sakharov. Okay. Wait a minute. Is that Lauren Price? So okay, so we'll go to the right. Michael said it. Okay. Been a long day, y'all. Sorry. So we're gonna go to the right, to the blonde on the right, okay? And that's Lauren Price. So Lauren Price is 1-0. And she's fighting Tamia Bellick, who is 6 wins, 6 losses, and 2 KOs. They're fighting at 147 pounds. I think Lauren Price is also a former Olympian. My lovely assistants and Mike, if you can look that up, please let me know. I think she got some kind of history coming in behind her. But once again, 1-0 on such a mega card, when there are so many great contenders out here, so many great contenders that already have skin in the game. Like what they should have done on this card is they should have put the contenders who are in Shields weight class, Shields and Marshall weight class, as well as Meyer and Bumgardner's weight class. They should have made the undercard all the contenders. So then people would have something to look forward to after these women fight. Because after these women fight, who's going to know? Who's going to know about the people coming up to challenge them? Cedric chimes in. Yes, Lauren Price is an Olympian. I think she medaled. Okay, I think she got a bronze medal or something like that. So she did medal, but she's 1-0. Okay? On a mega card. No, you're not a contender, and we're not trying. 1-0, you're sub 10. Oh, she got a gold. Okay, so she's an Olympic gold medalist. Okay, and she's fighting Uh, she's fighting at 147 as a pro. Okay, but you're still 1-0. Michael Orr says her girlfriend took home the bronze. Okay, that must be real cool. You know, your girl got a girlfriend. My girl got a girlfriend. Y'all don't know. Y'all don't know that's. Y'all don't know that bar, where that bar came from. But anyway, that was good. That you know, her is Artingstall. Um, is Artingstall Price's girlfriend? Is that what y'all are telling me? Y'all let me know. Okay. So that's kind of sexy, right? Um, these two ladies who are involved, they're fighting on the same card. Okay, and so Artingstall, who is the lady to the left of Dubois, to the left of the fighter in the middle, is Artingstall. Got a bronze medal, and she's also the girlfriend of Lauren Price, who is the gold medalist and the blonde that's on the where I would say the right side of Dubois. So I mean that's pretty cool. That's a pretty cool story. Um Said he came in talking about shoulder lean. Yeah, you found the bar. Young Dro and T.I. My girl got a girlfriend. Oh my gosh. Yes. And we having a part. I just love it when I love it when y'all encourage my goofiness, my crazy, right? I just love y'all for that. I really know that y'all mess with sugar. Yeah. So, um, it's a pretty cool song. They used to play that in the gym. Shoulder lean. I used to do my slipping to that song. Anyway. All right. All right. Back to boxing talk. Back to women's boxing. Anyway. Okay. So then we're going to go also down the line, right, where I'm sorry, I am actually reading as everyone else is reading who's watching, but I'm speaking it from my people who's on the podcast. Okay, so we got then Jones versus Caballero. Okay, so Ebony Jones is 2-0 versus Caballero. And I didn't get Caballero's record. Okay, but 2-0. Like this is what like I I'm really not even focusing on these records because all of these people, Michael Orr comes in, Young Dro. Yes, Young Dro. I mean that's one of the sickest bars to ever been dropped. My girl got a girlfriend. Okay? um anyway, come on back. Um Michael, did you really drop the link? Y'all hit the link to jam to the two. Yes, that's the theme for the show. Shoulder lean. Hit the link. Hit the link to know that what Sugar, Seti, and Mike what we bopping to tonight. We got that shoulder lean. Um okay, so uh yeah, I'm gonna go down the line again. So then we got O'Connor on the other side, and O'Connor is 2-0. We don't even know who O'Connor's fighting. Okay, then we got April Hunter beside O'Connor, who she's 5-1. She's fighting a fighter Alvarez. So like uh, these fighters all have sub 10 records, and if y'all been tuning into the Sugar Show, you really haven't hit anything until you get plus 10 fights, unless you're fighting like stepping up and you're fighting quality opposition. then your name gets called. But if you're only fighting journey women and you're sub 10, ain't nobody talking about you. You don't really get those kudos right now, right? You're still learning. Okay. Jump in that hot grease. Jump in that, fight some name contenders, right? If you're sub 10, and then we get to talk about you. But somehow whoever put this card on, we'll see. Because of that, I think it's going to be a boring ass undercard. Yeah, I said it. Because if you are sub 10 as a fighter and you're not even fighting high quality opposition, you're still finding your way in the ring. You can't even perform, right? And that's what these fights are. That's what this fighting is. This fighting is about performance. It's about getting in there and performing the ass whooping, not going in there trying to feel your way and figure shit out. That's what all these undercard girls are going to do that night, because they're sub 10. Ain't none of them stepping up. We got Jenny Futch, who is 1-0 on the card. Her picture ain't even on the thing, on the poster, against Gemma Rugg, who is 5 wins, 4 losses, and 1 draw. Right? You still trying to find your way in the ring. You can't entertain me on a mega card. That's like watching a toddler eat spaghetti. Come on now. I don't want to see that. I want to see, like, I signed up, like, when you see them people that can eat 100 hot dogs in 30 seconds, that's the shit I like. I'm sorry. That's the type of stuff that, they perform in that. They perform in that hot dog eating. Have y'all ever watched some of those things? That used to be my jam at one time. I'm telling you, I got some. Your girl Sugar is a strange woman, but listen, I mean well, and I'm fun. I'm fun. Michael Orr comes in. The entire undercard is sub 6 fights. Exactly. Like sub 6 pros. Like I said, it's gonna be like watching a toddler eat spaghetti. They're not performing, and they're not even in there against quality opposition for you to even say, "Ooh, okay, I'll be looking forward to that." No, like we not. No. Hunter is 5-1. Yeah, I mentioned that. And Mariana Sakharov, who's fighting Ardenstall, is 5 wins, 16 losses, and two draws. So she's just in there. She going to journey woman it. She not in there to win. She going to survive, and she going to make Ardenstall look good. Right? That's what this. Right? That's why I had that. These episodes. That's why I'm having these episodes, because I want you guys to understand what you're looking at. Right? They're selling you, these people, this promoter here is selling you some bull jive. This is not a real look into who's out here in women's boxing, the real contenders. They're not doing us any justice. They're not putting any money in our pockets, in these contenders' pockets, right? They're not showcasing what's really out here, and it's really not fair, right? Put them on there. Even if you rob them, put them on there, right? Because let the crowd, let the people become fans. When you have more fans, win or lose, you're going to make money. When you put these sub 10 fighters up there, ain't nobody going to be pressed about them. I promise you. Michael Orr says Ebony Jones is 2-0 versus Vanessa Caballero, 4 wins, 15 losses, and 3 draws. Yes, that's what I said. Journey women who have signed up to lose. right? Where's the thrill in that? Where's the thrill? Where is the thrill in these matches with the undercard? Where's the thrill? Right? This is a mega card. Michael Orr comes in. Seems like it's going to be a quick night of boxing. No, it's going to be a long, boring ass undercard, because I don't know if any of these broads, these sub 10 broads, I don't know if they're going to be able to pull off the knockouts and pull off the performances that are needed to grab our attention. Michael Orr comes in. I know I was being optimistic. I was hoping that everyone would get knocked out. Michael, you always trying to see somebody get slumped up. Huh? Huh? Yeah, there's entertainment in a full 10 round ass whooping too. But I like for it to go back and forth. Right? I like for the champ to give and take, just like the contender to give and take. And I like for the contender to almost win sometimes, just like I like the champion to win. Right? But I'm shining the light on what y'all are looking at. Right? They lining this thing up and trying to hype people to think that this is what's out here, and it's not. Michael Orr says, damn straight. Michael Orr also says, yeah, but there's nothing like watching somebody get slumped over and sleeping before they hit the ground, not knowing that they're even at the fight. There is something about that for sure, right? But me, I like the foreplay too, right? I like watching a fighter dismantle another fighter, right? I like the motions of it. I like seeing um, a fighter being taken apart mentally and physically. Yeah, that's kind of the uh, psychopath in me. Michael Orr says, don't get me wrong, I love foreplay. I bet you do. Mike, this the second show that you listen. They gonna tell on us. People gonna start talking about us. Um, um, and so yes, we're gonna continue. All right, about this card. Now, then we go into Michaela Meyer versus Alicia uh, Bumgardner. Okay, so this is a matchup that just came to me. It came as a whirlwind, right? Because um, Bumgardner has been calling out the Disney princess Michaela Meyer. Okay, and Michaela Meyer has been curving every attempt at fighting Bumgardner. Okay. And now, because I think Bumgardner is actually signed to Eddie Hearn now, Michaela Meyer has decided that it's worth stepping off her home porch to go fight Bumgardner. Now, I am curious to see how this fight is going to turn out. Um, because I mean, I'm looking at both fighters' statistics. Okay, so Meyer, starting off, she has a 29.41% knockout rate. Michael Orr chimes in. Alicia did sign with Eddie Hearn. I told y'all I know what I'm talking about. I know what I'm talking about. Yeah. Right. I'm not a computer in this, but I am true to it where, I'm still around. I'm still in the game. I'm still talking and I'm, I, I'm still living it enough to know who's doing what. Okay. So, yeah. And so who's promoting the show? Eddie Hearn, right? Salida is also promoting the show, but I'm not sure if Top Rank has any dibs on this promotion, because Michaela Meyer is promoted by Top Rank. So, so Bob Arum is co-promoting this fight as well. Is that what you're saying, Michael Orr? Coming in, Mikey and Boxer, right? So, okay, everybody's got their girl on the card. So it's, I guess, seems like it's an even fight between Meyer and Bumgardner. Okay, both their promoters put their money in on this fight, so both promoters may have equal interest in what the judges say and what the ref does. Okay, so it makes this matchup pretty interesting. Like I said, Meyer has a 29.41 knockout percentage. Okay, but Bumgardner has a 53.85 knockout percentage. Now let's dive deeper in what that means. This is according to their resume. Okay, this is according to their fight record. So starting with let's start with Bumgardner, because she got the shortest list. Bumgardner has fought a fighter who is a contender that has been turned into a journeywoman. Her name is Edith Sodoal. Okay, and she has a victory over Edith, who is 17 wins and 11 losses. Okay, Bumgardner knocked out Terry Harper, who was 11-0 at the time. Okay, so she took Terry's O, and that's quite I mean, that's like taking some. I'm gonna go there. That's like taking someone's virginity. Yeah, like you have that. Oh, I'm the one that deflowered you. I'm the one that did that to you. Yeah. Um, Goodness, y'all. Give me a second. I'm gonna have to. My battery's running out. Listen, this is a real show. Give me a second. Okay, I'm back. So, plugging up, plugging in. This is how real it gets on the Sugar Show, okay? And don't judge me. We'll go. All right, we're back in business. Okay, yes. So taking someone's O is like taking their virginity, especially in women's boxing, right? Because that means I got your number. Yeah. I got your O and you can't get it back. You can't take it back. And no one else has it except for me. Right? So, yeah. So Bumgardner took Terry Harper's O at 11-0. So that's a tremendous accomplishment. It is. Because Terry, she gifted Terry's first taste of defeat, and that shit hurts, and it don't taste good either. It's very bitter. It's I don't like it. um, and then prior to that, she fought a baddie in Christina Lenadarto, Medusa, out of Greece. But Lenadarto actually handed Bumgardner her first loss, I believe. Yeah, so Leonardo took Bumgardner's O. And Linda Darto is, I believe, I wrote her the 14 wins and 2 losses. Linda Darto was also a fighter who beat up Katie Taylor, but did not get the decision. And I believe shortly after that is when she became inactive. People stop calling you when you show that you want to win, and you are dangerous. People stop calling you. Okay. But I'm hoping that we get to see her again because she is a great contender. Christina Leonardo should have actually been on the under. I would have loved to seen her on the undercard of this fight. She's a good fighter and she's a good performer. Um, so then now we go to Michaela Meyer. Okay, so on Michaela Meyer's resume, there is Nydia Feliciano, who is a great contender, who that they have turned into a journeywoman. Okay, Nydia Feliciano is the first fighter who exposed Michaela Meyer, just off the strength of boxing, because Feliciano is not a powerful fighter, but she got this. She's got a great IQ, and she can box her ass off, and she's tough. She exposed Michaela Meyer because she had Michaela looking like she was reloading the whole fight, and unfortunately, the the cards were against Feliciano when she signed the contract, but she put on a great performance. I would have loved. I would hope to see her again somewhere in the future as well. She is someone that I would like. I'd love to see Nydia Feliciano actually fight rematch uh, Amanda Serrano, or even fight Katie Taylor. Right? She's of that caliber. She's a great. Her boxing IQ makes her very entertaining to watch. Um, Helen Joseph. So Michaela Meyer fought the forward moving, strong, pressure fighter, Helen Joseph. And I will say Michaela Meyer did a great job in performing against Helen Joseph. Helen Joseph is a straight on one trick pony type of fighter. She's going to keep stepping forward. She doesn't leave much. You don't need to think too much fighting Helen Joseph if you know how to box and if you know how to use your feet and your footwork. She's also shorter than Michaela Meyer, because Michaela Meyer, I think she's about 5'9", 5'10", something like that. She's a tall girl. Um, and she fights at this featherweight, I believe. Yeah, she fights at featherweight, or super featherweight. So I think, which is about 132 pounds. So yeah, um, that was a pretty good win for Michaela Meyer against a tough opponent. Michaela Meyer also fought Erica Farias, a stale Erica Farias. And I don't know, I really don't know what that was, to be honest. But Erica Farias also just fought a girl named Sandra Ryan, who is a up and coming prospect. Sandra Ryan, she seems to be, she's a good one. Sandra Ryan is a good fighter, and she's the type of fighter that you either want to see her beat people up or you want to see her get beat up. Yeah, because she talks that yang. She has a good aggressive style to her, and she her performance or her facade in the ring when she does fight is she is the bully. She is the bully. She's going to step in your face, and she's going to be disrespectful. So yeah, Sandra Ryan just fought Erica Farias. That fight should have been on this undercard, to be honest. That's a good fight. Okay, that's a contender versus a champion, and I believe it was for a champion, a title. That should have been on this card. Okay, not sub 10, not a sub 10 fighter that's just starting off. Um, Michaela Meyer fought Mavia Hamadouche, and I've said this before. Hamadouche won that fight. I don't care what nobody said. Um, I, I said what I said, right? When you're pressing the fight and pushing forward, and somebody's just hitting in defense, you're pressing the fight and you're dictating that person's fight. You're dictating when and how that person's fight. You're winning the fight. Hamadouche did that versus Michaela Meyer. But she was fighting on Michaela's porch and it wasn't her promoter, so she didn't get the decision. But I would have loved to seen Hamadouche on this card. Why didn't they put Meva Hamadouche on the card? Right? She's a great, entertaining, tough ass fighter. Put her against another contender out here. That would have been great. She's 22. Hamadouche is 22 wins, 1 loss, 0 draws. She deserves to be on a mega card like this. And then Michaela Meyer fought Jennifer Hahn, who is 18 wins, 4 losses, and 1 draw. Jennifer Hahn is very entertaining. She's a crone. She fought Jennifer Hahn when Jennifer Hahn just came off of a layoff. Jennifer also, same thing when Jennifer Hahn fought Katie Taylor, because don't nobody want Hahn fresh out the grease. I tell you that much. I came up with Jennifer Hahn. She was a part of the sharps, my amateur generation. We are the sharpshooters, okay? We are the boxers. We are the ones that had the IQ. We know what we're doing in there. A lot of other fighters, and I've heard this. I've actually another fighter who I haven't. I'm not even going to mention because it's really not relevant. Likes you find that these new fighters like to say that, oh, their generation was more skilled than the previous generation, fight skills, quality wise or skill set wise, which is not the case. The fighters of the Jennifer Hahn 8 days, the Natalie Browns, the goodness, who all was back in those times? Goodness, the Miriam Lamar. These are fighters that were Cecilia Brackhouse. I think she was out, but she came in after I left, and she came into my division, so we would have faced off in the amateurs. But those were the sharpshooters at the time, and they in order for us to have the longevity where we're fighting the younger fighters now in this game, is because of our IQ and is because of our skill set. So I said that to go back to Jennifer Hahn. Don't nobody want that crone out the hot grease. She is a problem. She can fight, and she is tough. So yeah, this matchup with Michaela Meyer versus Alicia Bumgardner is pretty. It's pretty interesting because it's a fair playing field. I'm actually leaning towards Meyer in this fight, because I know Meyer from the Meyer can fight. She has a great skill set. Been she hasn't been put in a position where she's extending herself to show her caliber and to show her quality in the pros. And that's why I have not given her the due that everyone's trying to force her to have. She hasn't earned it as a pro. She has a great amateur resume, but she has not earned anything. She hasn't earned that quality as a pro yet. Bumgardner is a great contender. She's powerful. She's explosive, and she's got some grit. She's also fought some pretty decent opposition. But like I said, I'm leaning towards Meyer because Meyer has a good IQ in there. And then now let's talk about the main event: Clarissa Shields versus Savannah Marshall. Okay, so Clarissa Shields versus Savannah Marshall. I'm not going to give any percentage. I actually did that in a previous episode with the statistics and the numbers between these two, and I just kind of hate repeating myself. So we're going to go into what it's looking like now for both of them going in. I'm not sure if you guys saw the press conference. Oh my gosh, lovely assistant. I forgot to ask you if there was any other images. Can y'all switch to images? Okay, so let's look at these two. So this is the main event. These are the two ladies fighting on the main event. And the reason why I'm not going to go into the numbers or anything just yet, because I want y'all to look at the obvious. Okay? One lady she's holding a whole bunch of belts, right? Clarissa Shields is holding 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I think 6 belts. And Savannah Marshall is holding 1 belt. Okay? So with looking at that, it's showing that Clarissa Shields has defeated all opposition in order to capture these belts. 6 belts. Okay, and Savannah Marshall has the 1 belt where she's defeated the opposition or she's attained that belt. A lot goes into now getting these belts and keeping these belts. Okay, and when you looking at the press conference between the two, I mean, Clarissa Shields made some great points where Clarissa Shields said she's fought better quality opposition than Savannah Marshall. Oh, my host, did my host dropped in a link. I'm not sure what that is. I think that's probably one of these ladies' records. What's that link, host, that you dropped in the chat? Okay, so yes, there's a lot that goes into gaining these belts and keeping them. Okay. Um, Also, okay, my host says that he's dropped the link in for the records for these two fighters, which is great. Thank you very much. Um, Now, Clarissa has made more defenses for these titles than Savannah Marshall. Clarissa Shields has also been in the hot grease more times than Savannah Marshall. Savannah Marshall's claim to fame right now is she beat Clarissa Shields in the amateurs, which I believe um, this week actually, Clarissa, it was this week, maybe 8 years ago or something like that, where Clarissa Shields actually won the gold medal at the first Olympics that women's boxing was performed or participated in. So, I mean, it's yeah, 2012. Yeah, so it's been 10 years since, or more than 10 years since that amateur loss between Clarissa Shields and, I mean, between that loss um, that Clarissa Shields um, got from Savannah Marshall. Okay, so I mean, we grown now. Okay, that happened 10 years ago, and cool. I think you actually took Clarissa Shields' O in the amateurs, and that's quite commendable. But now we're in the pros, okay? And in the pros, I don't see where Savannah Marshall has made enough of a path for herself or enough of a resume for herself to be the contender that everybody's want her to be against Clarissa Shields. She's fought Clarissa Shields leftovers, but I haven't seen in her own right where she's fought her own set, her own Skid Row killers that are equally matched or probably higher matched than the contenders that Clarissa Shields has fought, right? And that's the concerning thing for me, right? This is a mega fight, but I think it should have matured a little bit longer between these two. I think this fight should have matured a bit more. I think Marshall should have extended herself more and brought more contenders in, more quality contenders in on her resume. I mean, she's fought on Savannah Marshall's resume, and I have to say this. She fought Borislava Goranova. Like, Borislava has how many fights? 70 fights, and she's a journeywoman. Like, she's 11 wins, 55 losses on Savannah Marshall's record, and that's counting towards as one of her 12 and O's, where Clarissa Shields' 12 and O's is she has fought high caliber opposition. She has fought pretty much names in these weight classes. The only Talkin fight comes in, Claudia Vi. She also fought Claudia Vi. So Savannah Marshall is it? So I think Savannah Marshall is the one that fought Claudia Vi. V and Claudia V is 3 wins, 25 losses, and 1 draw. Okay, that's another fight that counts in this 12 and 0. This is the type of opposition Savannah Marshall has on her resume for a mega match between her and Clarissa Shields. This is what they're selling, right? She should have fought Raquel Miller before she got here. Oh, she also fought Ashley Curry. Like, I could have fought Ashley Curry when I was fighting and didn't, because I wanted high quality opposition. Ashley Curry is 8 wins, 12 losses, 4 draws. This is 3 fights now that counts towards that 12 and 0 that Savannah Marshall is sporting. Is that a mega contender? Is this really mega? Are y'all really hyped about this fighter beating the Guat? Self-proclaimed Guat, right? I call her the Guat because that's what she wants to be called. And I got to respect her for that, right? She's not the Guat, but she's the best woman out here right now, Clarissa Shields. She is. Okay? And so you coming in fighting, like, your record is a quarter of your record right now that we're talking about it. Me and my guys are talking about it. A quarter of Savannah Marshall's record is comprised of journey women with 4 and 40 records. They're not even journey women who have been they're not even contenders who were forced to now, walk as journey women. These are straight up journey women who have made the agreement. Yes, I will lose for you. I will make you look good. No, like, this is what I'm not paying for this. I don't want to pay for that. Right. So Clarissa Shields has not fought anyone with a losing record. The only nasty record that I've seen, and it's really not nasty, on Clarissa Shields' record is when she fought Sylvia Zabados, and Sylvia Zabados was 18 wins, 19 losses at the time, and I think that was Clarissa Shields' second or third fight or something like that, right? Ever since Clarissa Shields, and see, I'm just in the game enough to know, right? I don't even know Clarissa Shields' record by heart or anything like that, right? But I know that Clarissa Shields has been out there putting in that work, and no one's trying to give her credit for that. Yeah, she might be obnoxious. Yeah, y'all might not like her swag outside the ring. But in the ring, she gets the job done, and she's representing women's boxing. Fantastic. Like she's doing her thing. She's a two-time gold medalist, and she's fought the best. She hasn't ducked anybody. Right? So I don't understand why everyone is calling this mega, right? Michael Orr comes in and says Clarissa Shields fought Nikki Adler, who was 16-0 in her fourth fight. Clarissa Shields been stepping up, right? But everyone wants to see her lose. I don't want to see her lose. She's done great for women's boxing. She's done a lot better than some men in boxing. Tori Nelson. This is the fighter whose name I forgot in my previous episode. She fought Tori Nelson, who was 17-0, 3 draws for her fifth fight. Tori Nelson is a monster. Tori Nelson is a monster. Holly Holm, the legend, Holly Holm, ain't want no smoke from Tori Nelson. She went down in weight so she wouldn't fight Tori Nelson. Okay? And then Clarissa Shields fought, because Michael Orr is giving me the numbers, Hannah Gabriels, who she got dropped. Hannah Gabriels dropped her in this fight. But Hannah Gabriels was 18 wins, 1 loss, and 1 draw. Right? So, and she's fighting Clarissa Shields, when she was sub 10, is fighting opposition who is above 10, who has above 10 fights, and are real champions and contenders in the weight class. And y'all are disrespecting Homegirl? Y'all think Marshall is gonna beat Homegirl? I just don't get it. Because Marshall fought 2 of her leftovers and stopped them. Who has Savannah Marshall fought? That's the caliber of the opposition that Clarissa Shields has fought. So I'm just saying this, right? This is a situation where everything is too hyped up about this card. Yeah, I'm saying it. Real contenders should have been on the undercard, right? Not sub 10 fighters who are just trying to figure themselves out in the ring. Not on a mega card like this in women's boxing. And the undercard is good. Bumgardner, Michaela Meyer versus Bumgardner. That's a great undercard. Okay, I mean, that's a great co-main event. Okay, but it's not mega, but it's a great co-main. Okay, but this that y'all are hyping up, y'all should have let it mature a little bit more for this to happen, because after this, then what? Who's next? Then what? Are y'all gonna are these promoters gonna make a star out of another tomato can? Is Hannah Rankin gonna come out of hiding after her and her promoter did that to that girl, put that girl in the coma? right? Because that's, I mean, she's laying low because of that, right? Michael Orr comes in. Um, then she fought Rankin, who was 5-2, and then Hermans, who was 9-1. You see what I'm saying? And this, uh, Mike comes in. So I suppose you were saying, I suppose it was Savannah Marshall who fought uh, Hannah Ranking, who was 5-2 at the time, and then also fought Hermans, Femke Hermans, who was 9-1 at the time. No, Michael, it was Shields. Oh, okay. So, sorry, y'all. Shields fought Hannah Rankin, who was 5-2 at the time, and beat her. And then she fought Femke Hermans, who was 9-1 at the time. Um, so they were contenders at the time too. Okay. And Michael Orr comes in with my point with something that I said earlier. Shields has taken a lot of these broads' virginity. She's taken some O's out here. She's taken some serious, she's taken some O's out here. Okay. And she getting disrespected, right? She's not supposed to, y'all not, who cares if y'all like her outside of the ring, right? She is who she is. But y'all will respect who she is too. This is a great female fighter. She is great. She's better. She's greater than Holly Holm. She's greater than Christy Martin. She's greater than Ali. She's greater than Lucia Riker. Look at their records compared to Clarissa Shields' records. And she's a double gold medalist, Olympic gold medalist. Clarissa Shields is women's boxing great. Now, I don't know if she's the greatest woman of all time, because I don't think Clarissa Shields would have had any chance against Ann Wolfe. She wasn't going to beat Ann Wolfe. She would probably beat she probably beat Layla Ali in a decision, but she wasn't going to beat Ann Wolfe. Yeah, she don't have the power to drop Ann Wolfe, and Ann Wolfe was a dog. You heard? Okay, that was one of the scariest women in women's boxing. Um, Michael Orr comes in. Shields' last 4 fights were Hammer, Habazin, Decare, and Kozin. Okay. Right. So there are no, like, unless Shields dips down, and I don't know why she's not fighting. She could even fight Raquel Miller. I keep saying that name because, Raquel Miller needs to get some of this money out here. I don't know her personally, and I don't know how she is outside the ring, but I know she's a fighter, and I see what she does, and she's had great potential since the amateurs. Tika Hemingway as well, right? Tika Hemingway would be a great entertaining match versus Clarissa Shields. Um, I would love to see those two. That would be a good match to be super or mega one day, because they got beef. They got a story. Just I mean, you think Savannah Marshall and Shields got a story? Hemingway and Shields got a story. They go back and forth. Um, and it's quite spirited, the things they say, these broads say to each other. It's very entertaining, and I think it would be very entertaining. They would be very entertaining going into the match. That's what would make a great super fight. Okay, so um that's it for tonight. I didn't None of my people chimed in, except for, well, I'm not going to say, Mike is always here, and I love it, and I love you for it, Mike, for always showing up to the party. Cedric came in and hadn't been in for a while, but he came in. Cedric Sports Training came in. um I love my host for co-producing the show, and my guys at Talking Fight Boxing chimed in to talk with Sugar and to give some numbers. So yeah, that's what that was the topic for tonight. Can't wait for this fight to go down. Um, I I'll be there. Oh, and Omar Johnson chimed in, which he Omar Johnson, he's always has some great input, and I love the way he encourages me to hype the show. So I really appreciate that, Omar. I love you for showing up. So yeah, I'm going to draw a conclusion to tonight's topic. Okay. Lovely assistant, are there any more images that we can go through though, like before? Okay, so we got the co-main. All right, so we got Meyer with the pink belt versus Bumgardner. All right, they in the ring there. Okay, any other images? And there they go. Okay, so we got these two ladies. Um, Great physiques on both of them. They look great, okay? And that's a part of selling women's boxing. They got the body for it. I like the personalities that they're projecting. It's a good matchup. I like the way this match looks. Any more images, lovely assistant? Or is that it? I guess that's it. And so that I'm gonna call it a night, everybody. Y'all know that my shows last. So when you have time, listen to it, and then when you have even more time, sit down and watch me. And show up next Wednesday at 7:30, where we get to do this all over again. We get together and we get to talk about women's boxing. Uh, Thank you for my guys that that left comments. If I do it one at a time, one person at a time. So if you dropped any other comments, I'm gonna go through my episodes and see who's talking back to Sugar in the comment section. And I'm hoping that me and you, one nation boxing can level out and still be be able to party together at 7:30 on Wednesdays and talk more about women's boxing and share our different perspectives of what this thing is and what this industry is. You guys like, subscribe, share this sugar. Okay, and come on in, come and party with me and the Talking Fight Boys and Michael and Seti when they drop in, and Omar, and shouts out to all my other regular misfits that show up. Okay, until then, until next Wednesday, you have a good weekend. I'm gonna try to drop in this Friday, we'll see. Okay, like, subscribe, share, but until then, see you next time.